Tonight is the end game.
The end.
Drum roll, please. It's it.
That's it. The do-it-yourself blend-off Patreon challenge, the championship.
I versus Jay. We actually have a husband and wife that submitted 2 samples, and they're the 2 that made it to the championship. So hopefully they still love each other after tonight, but I think they will. This is going to be fun. We're kind of familiar with these already because they went through the bracket.
That's right. We went through what? How many did we have? 10, I think, total altogether.
Yes. Yeah, the patrons that wanted to participate, we gave them a set of rules that were pretty loose to blend their own whiskey and send it to us in a blind challenge. We put it all in a bracket. The loose rules were you couldn't just add 1 drop of you had to have a certain percentage of each whiskey that was in the blend, so you couldn't pull some kind of John Glaser trick on us or anything like that. But
so let's start with one like we did last time, and we'll share nose and we'll taste it and then go to the next one because we know one is peated and one is not. We should probably start with the non-peated.
Yeah, I think I is peated.
I was just gonna say, how do we know? I don't remember.
Because I just ran my nose over eye and like,
Take a quick
pretty
look.
obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with Jay.
All right. That's
and go through it. So I'm gonna hit it, and you can do a little talking.
All right. So Jay is, from what I remember, is not peated. We believe it's sherry influenced, matured, or at least finished.
So it's hard for me because I'm trying to dissect it and think of what glasses is this a Deanston?
No.
I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to do that. But I'm getting like a sherry bomb Yankee Candle. Like it's just got some like perfumey, like grapefruit fruits going on.
Like
it's very a little bit, like a little honey, but it's just very there's a lot of things going on in the nose.
So
it's hard to get to exact specific.
I get rich, and dare I say I get a little hint of sulfur. Maybe my nose is finally
I get that too. That's why I said Deanston originally.
So it's not like a McKellen punch in the nose, like, oh, that's McKellen, but it's in there.
A little bit of sulfur in there.
There's a tiny bit going on, which I didn't recall that last time.
Does it smell smooth?
It smells so smooth. It smells red.
It smells red. So I'm getting something it's like wet biscuits or yeast.
Okay.
So I can see where you're getting a Yankee Candle out of it.
Go for it, man.
Go for it. Come on back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting on this initial sip. So we warmed up with some Dewar's 18 to kind of,
which wasn't enough to warm up for this guy.
No, it wasn't. It's got some kick. So it's gonna have to go around again to get the flavor out of it because
there's whiskey in that.
there's some oxidized.
Yeah, that's hot.
But get past that, it's got a strong finish. I actually get a little bit of a chocolate note on the side of my tongue.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'm already excited for the second sip because I think my palate needed that shock. All right. Now the second one won't be as punchy. And even I can't wait to see what this does with a little bit of water on it.
Okay, so the nose has a lot more. I did.
Okay.
I did quite a few. And so I got more sugar, concentrated sugar coming on the nose now. Marshmallow cream.
Really?
Honey. Yep.
All right. So that
not a whole lot.
There's too much alcohol.
It's definitely there.
You needed to add the water to really pull out all the flavors
Mm-hmm.
that are in that. Mm-hmm. Plus, it helps that as we go back and forth with it, our palates get more adjusted to it and open up.
A lot more vanilla, a lot more cotton candy-ish maybe. Definitely that brings it up.
The water is a lifesaver for that dram.
Mm.
It really opens up the palate more too.
God, that concentrated sugar is right there in the nose.
It's still hot. I mean, this is probably like 60 some odd. But I'll say it's more of a s'more now with graham cracker in the palate than I had before. That marshmallow is kind of kicking in a little bit now. But
I'll buy a bottle of that.
That chocolate finish is strong. I mean,
I'll buy a bottle of that.
It's really good. That's delicious. I will say though, it's not like it doesn't have a flowing of distinct flavors. It's a pretty good blend.
Right, and it definitely comes together. It's not disjointed in any way. It doesn't
feel
jump all over.
No.
It's the peak.
So if I remember this one, I remember a spring break funk on it, but when I smelled it earlier,
I never got the funk.
I
did it.
I honestly don't remember anything. I'm trying not to even pull on anything previous.
So we got lots of peat in this. Well, we have peat in this. Oh boy, there's a lot of brininess.
Ooh, really?
Like not medicinal.
So no iodine.
No, not much. Maybe a little bit, but oh, that's a nice nose. I'm not getting much sweetness on it yet. But I think I remember I had the water open this up.
See, I don't get that much peat on it.
So I'm not the funk I got before. If I got that before, it's not in there now.
How was the ABV in the nose? Was it pretty hot?
It's not
soft.
Yeah, it's not high on the nose. It's almost like a Old Pulteney type blended with, because I'm getting that briny.
Man, I don't get much on that at all. I really don't, and I'm pretty sure that's because my nose isn't back to full force.
No, I'm actually getting your funk tonight.
See, I would say that nose is better than Jay.
Oh, it is.
I think it's got a much richer,
more diversity to it.
And maybe that's my COVID nose, because I don't get that at all. I don't get anything on it. It's I don't get anything.
You're right about the funk tonight. I mean, didn't remember that before.
Because in that you get the brininess, kind of a smoky, not like ash smoke, but more of like that peated smoke. You get some sweetness on there.
Wow, it's a crazy. It's
hit
really
that bad
nice.
boy.
It's really nice.
Yeah, hit it. How to speak about the whiskey you're tasting with a mouthful of whiskey?
Up front caramel.
Really?
Yep. Yellow cake. Oh, now here comes the beet.
See, already you're telling more flavors than we got in the other one.
It was sweet up front. It had a nice, like, soft yellow cake sweetness to it, and buttery, and then it rolled right into this smack you in the face kind of peat.
Ah, damn! I drinks a lot hotter than it smelled.
But the finish is not like super long. Like, it's still going, but not like it was. Not like
Man,
the first one.
that peat's just hidden on my nose. I'm not getting it, but it's on the palate. There's something there, that's for sure.
Now, I would say so far, just out of first impressions, the nose is better in this one, but I like the palate better on Jay right now, because I know, but I want to get some water on that.
So what did you think on this neat?
Yeah, so I get the yellow cake. I'm getting it rolls into some lemon as it's transitioning into that
lemon,
really ashy peat. I'm getting a lot of like charcoal almost on the peat flavor. Not
the nose is wonderful.
So compare the peat to a peat that we're familiar with. Would you say it's more Ardbeggy, or is it more Lafroig, or maybe an earthy?
It feels more Lafroig. No, not. It doesn't feel Lagavulin to me. It's more like a Lafroig, where I get a little more ash in it, like a house fire kind of. Now it may be Ardbeg. I don't think it is, but again, I'm not really good with picking out distilleries. I'm better.
It's more Ardbeg, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more Ardbeg, but it's still to me it's a pretty split, half up front sweet, semi-sweet, buttery, and then the second half goes right, dissipates from that into the peatiness of whatever that is.
I can get you a lemon. Unfortunately, it's either the alcohol or the
Put
peat.
some water on it.
Peat that is masking all the rest of the flavors that I'm not getting to. I really want to see what happens here.
I think
this is gonna kick the door in and make this a freaking tight race.
They're both really good.
I don't think it's
bravo to both.
I may need to go back and hit Jay again, because this has, as we talk through this, we're coming up with a lot more descriptors on this whiskey than we did on the other one.
Yeah, I'll give you
Which
that.
tells me there's more complexity to it, and it rolls differently.
Lemon's all I got, because I'm not even getting peat on the nose.
I only said three things. So Jay, even though we didn't get to as many descriptors, I felt like it had a little bit more going on. How'd the water go?
I didn't help at all.
No change. Did you add quite a bit?
I think it went down.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
it
made the
to me, it made the nose more Vicks Vapor Rubby, and more not eucalyptus, but it's very similar. Yeah, vapor.
Yeah, whatever that Vicks is.
I lost a lot of the sweetness on the palate. It did tame the smokiness too, though.
Oh gosh, you're right. It is Vixie now. Vixie, I like that.
Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah.
So that's eucalyptus or menthol. That's menthol.
Menthol is part of the word.
Menthol is what I was looking for.
That could be Lafroig.
So
because
The water tamed the early finish. In other words, as you were swallowing it, tamed that down and made it a little bit more approachable. But even after it went down, it was still a pretty good heat to it. And I'm not sure if that's...
Is it youth or is that just ABV?
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be youth.
This is quarter cask, I bet, in there.
It's really,
Because I had yellow cake earlier, and
now
I'm getting the medicinal, which makes more Lafroigish. So, okay, so the water didn't help for me that much either on that. I mean, it basically kind of toned it down.
It's so hard.
Okay, so let's pause for a second. I'm trying to be unbiased here, but on my flavor, what I prefer from a blending aspect. Which was, let's ask this question: which was the most rounded?
What do you mean by rounded?
It wasn't edgy. It felt like it folded correctly, like it was blended.
Together.
It was all married well.
Because neither of these are off balance. Neither of these have things that are sticking out there that just doesn't work with the other. It's all balanced well together. I think I has more change as your palate goes, and change as you add water, and change with the nose and all that kind of thing, which I think is kind of nice for somebody able to tune, because the ABV is a little bit high. It's not like 65% high, but it's a little bit high, and the water helps bring everything kind of together.
This is done really well, though.
Boys.
This is really
there's
smooth.
got to be there can be only one.
I'm going to vote I, because I think I is a better complex whiskey. It has commercially, it's probably not as valuable commercially. You won't sell as many bottles of I, but I think it's actually a more complex whiskey as far as palate and nose goes. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Jay.
You beat me to
I'm
it.
gonna go with Jay because here's what I would buy a bottle of Jay. I'd have a bottle of that on my bar. I want to spend time with I want to play with it, because I think there's something else in there to crack. It's like a Rubik's Cube. I'm like, well, there's some other stuff going on in here, but I don't know if that's good or bad, because I haven't figured it out yet. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. It's definitely interesting. It's not bad. It's interesting. Jay, I think, I mean, honestly, I took a couple sips of that, especially after you put a drop of water. I'm like, damn, I want a bottle of this.
We said that Jay. In the beginning.
That's true.
So, and I agree with you on the marketing or mainstream bottling of that. That one would probably be more popular. There is something going on in it. You're right. It's more complex. But the fact that I haven't been able to figure it out, that complexity, in 15 minutes of sitting with it, makes me want to keep sitting with it, but it doesn't make me want to go buy a bottle of it.
Yeah, I am pretty much 100% agreement with you on that. I think Jay, I like them both. I keep going back and forth, flip flopping. I like what you can get in with the peatiness. You can play with it, etc. But man, right out of the bottle, you don't have to do anything with Jay. It's hot. You need to add some water to it, or let it sit for a while.
Yep.
But it's good right out of the bottle. And so I'm going to go with Jay as well.
All right. So I guess Jay wins the competition.
Jay?
There can be only one.
Jay is the winner. So let's bring in.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So, Michael and Brienne, how are you guys doing? You submitted these two.
They're good?
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
good.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What did you think of what we were saying? Were we like going crazy? Was it nuts?
Are we off?
No, I mean, you're never off, right? When you're pulling something out of a whiskey and this is what I taste, you're never wrong. Drew, you did call out one distillery on one of them that was not in that one, but it's actually in the other blend. So I was like, hey, interesting.
Yeah.
And you did call out one distillery that was in one of them correctly too.
So we're going to open the discussion on I,
which is Moonage Daydream, 61.1%, 50% Hazelburn 9 Barolo cask.
Wow.
So it's fun.
It is
So
fun.
there is some funk down there
50%
from
funk.
Campbelltown.
There
Good.
is some funk to it.
25% SMWS 10.190 Bunnahabhain 9-year-old Oloroso Make Moyne a Devil.
Dang, that's a good one.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
didn't taste that though.
what
Oh my
hang on a
gosh,
second.
it's
I'll ask
so
the question in a second.
crazy.
And the last one is 25% single cask nation Ben Nevis 6-year-old Amontillado butt. So what's the
That whiskey is
ABV?
young. It's young and hot. It's aggressive.
That Ben Nevis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, the Ben Nevis is 67 and change, 67.6.
Okay, that
So,
makes sense.
so what is Barolo cask?
It's something I don't see much. It's a wine. I think it's an Italian wine. But this is the oldest whiskey in the blend at 9 years, and it's 50. What's the ABV? 57.9 on this. On its own, this is a sweet, lightly funky, straight up hazel burn.
Mhm.
By the way, this was my blend.
Oh,
Nice job.
There can only be one. Bree actually picked this to go into the blend, and then I accented it with the Buna and the Ben Nevis. This for really rich sherry peat, and this just for a punchy in the face sherry, young sherry.
all right. So this is the winner, Bree. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope there's some candy in there.
Blended malt S4Z.1, the Carnival Parade, 57.5% ABV. It is 50% Amrut Intermediate Sherry. It is 25% Deanston 2008 9-year-old Bordeaux Red Cask Matured, which is a fantastic whiskey. I love that whiskey.
Yeah.
And then 25% Springbank 12 Cask Strength.
Wow.
So sherry, wine, and
a mix of bourbon and sherry.
So when you guys started out, you guys are gonna participate here. What was the inspiration? I mean, did you say I want to do a peated one and I want to do an unpeated one, or did you
The unpeated one came first. And yeah, we were up late, experimenting with different whiskeys, and it was sort of spontaneous. I mixed the Deanston and the Springbank first, I think in pretty much equal parts.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, this is good.
And that was really good all by itself. Just the Springbank and the Deanston. But then we thought, well, that's why she got this one, because she picked those two. But then we thought, how can we make it a little richer?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we ended up going with 50% Amrut. We played around with proportions, different sherry whiskeys, some Glendronach, some Edwardowers, but that Amrut in the blend, it was like, oh, there it is.
That's a good whiskey.
So
that's it.
When you guys are starting off with your blend, how big of a blend do you do? Like tablespoon a pop? I mean, a dram?
Yeah, actually, we were getting out. Yeah, we did have tablespoons. Yeah, messing with proportions, right? So at one point we had even 4 whiskeys in this, and then we realized the 3 we wanted, and we did it a third, and then we kind of just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and when it was equal portions, the little bit of peatiness in the Springbank was a bit much. It kind of overshadowed some of the other stuff, so we dialed that back.
We have a lot of fun. We did it on a few different nights. We let them sit for a while, and of course what you guys have is probably a little different than what we experienced, even if we let it sit for 3 or 4 days.
Oh yeah,
it's been marrying.
Thank you so much for participating in this. We're going to grab everybody else, get them on the Zoom here, and celebrate with you guys as a group. But thank you so much for doing this with us. Well done, you guys.
Congratulations, Bree.
Congratulations.
Woo, our champion.
Bree.
Okay, go for it, Bree.
Good job. Good job.
The first blended competition.
That was awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so we want to say cheers to all the other blenders, though, because by the luck of the draw, the matchups, anyone, any of those other blends, it sounds like could have won. But so cheers to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. It comes down to that particular moment when we tasted the whiskeys and what you were up against and moods. And but you're right. Cheers to everyone that submitted, because
It was a lot of fun.
They were all really good blends, and it was a lot of fun.